I could tell you with confidence that this film is probably going to be the most thrilling and immersive film you're going to see all year. I was completely taken away by the incredible action, story, drama, and thrill that was this movie. It's non-stop, and you never really know what's going to happen. It's a very unpredictable movie, and unfortunately, it showcases a horrifying depiction of what a modern-day Civil War would look like. And wow, by the end of watching this film, there's no world I want to live on where this happens. So Alex Garland did a great job showing you that this is a nightmare, and this won't seem to help anybody out. But the first question you're probably asking is this a politically motivated film? Is this a movie that's trying to preach to you? Is this a movie that is pushing a message? Is this a film that is trying to comment on our current political environment and climate? I'm pleased to say it's not. This is very much so its own thing, and it's so much so its own thing that it really doesn't in any way reflect where we are in America today. And the pure example of that is Texas and California team up in this film, and they both secede from the United States of America, and they wage war against the U.S. And throughout the movie, they're kind of wreaking havoc all across the country, and their goal is to get to the White House and to kill the president. What's odd about this movie is it's sort of intentionally vague. We're not really, as an audience, sure why the Civil War started. We're just kind of thrown right into the battle, and it's seemingly been waging for several years, and everybody's just completely miserable. Nobody's happy, and everybody has turned into scarred versions of themselves through this horrible war. And I have to say that it was really powerful and moving, and I don't know, it was just emotionally tolling to watch this America in flames, because we are seeing a lot of these very famous monuments, very familiar landmark locations, neighborhoods, cities, downtown streets. I mean, we're seeing all these really familiar local attractions in flames, used as war fronts, dead bodies all over the place. And it's sad to see. And it's especially sad seeing Americans killing other Americans, and seeing soldiers fighting against soldiers within America. And I think Alex Garland did a particularly powerful job showing just how inhumane this whole thing was, and how we were all once friends and allies, but this division in this film turned everybody into complete animals and the worst versions of themselves. And it's sort of like how in Walking Dead, when the characters just slowly start to get worse and worse and less moral human versions of themselves. A lot of these characters in this film have molded into that. But through this whole devastating war, we are taken through this devastation through the perspective of several journalists. I have to say, these journalists, the actors who portrayed them, as well as the characters themselves, are very captivating and interesting. The main cast of characters is a really exciting group, and I really enjoyed getting to know them. There was a lot of story, character growth, character development involved with the main cast. And Kirsten Dunst is obviously leading the group, but everybody has a special role, and every single player within this group contributes, and they all mend and turn into they all grow through this experience, and most of the time for the worse, unfortunately. But their mission is to get to the White House before the rebel group, they're called the Western Front, gets there and tries to kill the president. So they're trying to get there, and they want to interview and talk to the president before hell breaks loose at the White House. In order for them to do that, they're all the way in New York City. They have over 800 miles to drive through hostile territory to get there. And of course, along the way, they are constantly diverted from their path. And that is when we get to see just how devastating this entire war has been on the people of America. And we get we get introduced to a lot of new characters on both sides of the perspective, and we start to understand their new livelihood, how they function, their tactical campaigns, and we start to grow attached to both sides of the story here. And nobody is exactly alienated as an antagonist. I think it's all intentionally vague, but there's something about it that's just particularly grim, because I think we all of us Americans can attest that we don't want to see Americans fighting each other, and we don't want to see this. It was a nightmare, and everybody just turns into the worst versions of themselves, and it's so hard to watch. But it's a very captivating film. Really, this is all very well written too. Very well written characters, and we get a lot of great dialogue. But above all of that, it's really good action. I can't remember the last time I saw a really good war movie in theaters. But this is a really good war movie. If you like watching gun movies, you like really intense, unpredictable action that is actually borderline horror, this movie's definitely that for you. A lot of shock and awe in this film. But with all that being said, I would definitely recommend you see this movie. It's definitely a standout, and A24 certainly knew what they were doing when they produced this. But if you... oh wait, before I get to that, I give this movie a 93%. This is a really good movie, and it absolutely deserves an A on my book. But if you are going to see this movie, if what I had to tell you about the film captivates you and makes you want to go see it, let me know in the comments below. I greatly appreciate it. If you want to talk about movies, I'm here to listen, and I'd love to communicate with you. But make sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel, hit the notifications bell so you don't miss the next episode, and I'll see you later.